Aloha, and welcome to the fall 2022 edition of UHMTV, a TV news magazine show written, hosted, and produced by journalism students at the University of Hawaii at Mānoa. I'm Mackenzie Olivo.
And I'm Kaiya, Laguardia-Yonamine. Mahalo for joining us from our College of Social Sciences digital studios. Coming up in this episode, we'll explore how the U.S. military is impacting Hawaii and the rest of the Pacific.
Check out the latest plans for the new multi-million-dollar renovation of Sinclair Student Success Center.
And how this local nonprofit is helping the environment while turning trash into treasure.
Plus, an exclusive Talk Story session with proud UH alum and Hawaii News Now reporter Dylan Ancheta. Stay with us for UHMTV. While many are happy to be on campus this semester, some international students are finding it difficult to focus on their studies.
But as May James reports, UH offers a mix of support for those studying abroad.
Living and studying in a tropical paradise can be difficult, especially for many international exchange students who come to Hawaii for the first time. Many are struggling to maintain good grades, and others are simply not attending class. This poses a challenge for students trying to balance work and play.
We're surrounded by beaches and good weather. I only go to the classes where they take attendance, which is not a lot.
Because you're in a new place, you want to see the whole island and stuff. So that's been tough for sure. Yeah.
UH Mānoa has nearly 1,100 international students this fall semester. 14% are exchange and visiting students from 20 different countries. Mānoa International Exchange, otherwise known as MIX, is a department on campus that caters specifically to this population.
Just trying to connect students to resources and let students know that I'm here to help them with whatever problems they might have. So I might not have the answer, but I know I can find somebody that has the answer for them.
Other clubs on campus also provide engagement opportunities for mixed students, saying it's all about finding balance.
It's a lot to explore, and I do think it's a little bit of a balance, but you do set your own priorities, so it's a little bit of a vacation to them, but then since they get to stay here longer, they get to appreciate the culture here, and I think that's really important.
But while international exchange can be challenging for some, both students and staff alike would still highly recommend the once-in-a-lifetime experience.
You're doing a ton of learning in the classroom, but you're also learning something new every single day outside of the classroom. You have to, you're forced to. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that it's easy, but at the end of the day, it's really good for personal growth.
For more information, head to the Mix website. For UHMTV, I'm May James.
The U.S. military is one of the top industries in Hawaii, bringing many benefits to Hawaii's infrastructure.
However, their presence is also affecting climate change in the Pacific. Pearl Harbor is one of the most prominent military bases known around the world. It's home of the Mighty Mo and other sunken vessels from World War II. But before all the destruction, it used to be a pristine marine ecosystem. Environmental activists are hoping to reverse those impacts by decreasing military presence in Hawaii.
Demilitarization is divesting ourselves from this kind of addictive relationship with militarism. It means reducing the military footprint in a place like Hawaii, which is enormous. It means cleaning up the mess and the environmental impacts that the military has made.
As the second largest industry next to tourism, the military spends nearly $8 billion a year in Hawaii alone.
It's a huge part of the economy, and so people just are they'll take the money and want to know where it comes from.
About a dozen military bases are scattered throughout the Hawaiian Islands, with the majority located here on Oahu. This visual shows just how many toxins and explosives surround our island state.
The more you learn about militarization and its realities, the more you see how protection and security is nothing close to what its real missions are.
One of the most recent examples of military damage is the ongoing water contamination disaster at Red Hill.
Water connects all of us. And when we think about how the U.S. military has taken that, and because it's hey, if we don't stand up for each other, we are gonna die.
It's a stolen land that is the basis of militarization. You're basically eating the carcass of Hawaiian sovereignty in a sense, right?
Since 1964, more than 23,000 acres of Hawaiian lands have been used for military training purposes, including the sacred land of Makua Valley. With leases set to expire in 7 years, activists are hoping to end armed force presence, not only in Hawaii, but across Oceania.
I see militarization as this force and this kind of large, ominous being, as a system does, is essentially find ways to destroy the roots and the livelihoods of people and of land and water.
The U.S. government sees Hawaii as a prime location for maintaining national security. If the military were to leave, some are concerned about what it would mean for national defense.
We have a responsibility to deal with those environmental impacts in Hawaii, but also we have to think about the consequences of what happens in Hawaii or decisions made in Hawaii that are then exported to other lands.
To find out more information, visit the Hawaii Peace and Justice website. For UHMTV, I'm Kaiya, Laguardia-Yonamine. If you build it, they will come. That's the idea behind the new renovations for the 66-year-old Sinclair Library.
As Erin Fujitani reports, a new design team is working to revamp the building into a state-of-the-art facility that hopes to attract more student engagement on campus, as well as student success.
UH Manoa's Sinclair building is getting a new facelift in 2023. The structure will undergo major changes as a new way to enhance student experience.
So we really see this as a kind of a new home for the campus, and we just hope that everyone is as excited as we are about it.
I think it'll just have a different feel, something more than just, I gotta prepare for an exam, I gotta do homework, and it's gonna be much more than that.
It's always built towards the future and making a better environment for the students to learn in.
Renovations will cost the university $65 million. The project's greatest challenge is a quick turnaround timeline. Construction plans to begin in the summer of 2023 and end in the fall of 2024.
It's a tight time frame. Our commitment is to design and build it within approximately 2 years.
We're going to put our best foot forward to make every deadline that we need to.
Once completed, designers hope the new facility will truly reflect the digital age with innovation and creativity. For UHMTV, I'm Erin Fujitani.
When we come back, we'll visit a local nonprofit that's turning e-waste into green waste.
And find out how this student organization is giving back to the community and the environment. Don't go away.
Class of 2022, you made it. I am so proud of each and every one of you who rose to the challenge. Through it all, you made higher education a priority. You persisted and persevered. And I'm here to say, bravo, well done. We hope you will take lessons learned from your professors, your counselors, and advisors here at the College of Social Sciences and apply them in ways that will benefit your local and global communities. Let your voice be heard, and may you dare to dream and achieve all your goals, not someday, but today. Your time is now. Congratulations, class of 2022, and welcome to the College of Social Sciences Alumni Ohana.
Welcome back to UHMTV. In this age of digital technology, electronic waste, otherwise known as e-waste, has been increasing exponentially over the past decade.
But at least one local nonprofit is hoping to change that trend by making it easier for residents to recycle their old computers. Ashley Middleton reports.
Jason Groover started recycling electronic trash about 10 years ago, after witnessing firsthand the lack of places to process e-waste in Hawaii.
I used to clean out houses. Then we had a bunch of computers one time I need to get rid of, and we couldn't find anyone to take them, so we were told just to throw them in the landfill. Coming from a hippie background in the 70s, that was pretty taboo.
Just last year, his company recycled more than 600,000 pounds of e-waste. That's only a small percentage of what's really out there.
And so just that keeps me awake on how are we going to process it, how are we going to handle it. We can't have piles of e-waste in our driveway, so we have to bring it in, process it properly, and ship it so it doesn't build up.
UH Manoa generates more than 100 tons of e-waste every year. UH pays a private vendor more than $100,000 just to get rid of this hazardous waste.
It's a lot. It's a lot, and a lot of computers they're not even that old. I wish there was a policy on the front end that had a disposal fee in it to make it easier for us to dispose of. I wish people would donate them, reuse them.
Even though the University of Hawaii at Manoa is not using these services, some businesses are.
We have a big desire to do things right and ethically, so that put us out on a search to find someone that could dispose of these legally, and that's when I ran into Iopala. We take all of our e-waste to them, so computer monitors, computer towers, we would take it to them and they would dispose of it legally.
UH officials hope more departments on campus will consider recycling their computers before being so quick to throw them away.
I would hope that we would move away from desktops and move more towards laptops, because it uses less resources to build them, less resources to dispose of them. I really do think at the end of the day, it's the manufacturer that should pay for the disposal.
In the meantime, local residents are encouraged to drop off their old computers at Iopala for free.
We love your junk. Don't throw it away.
Iopala also accepts IT equipment, including old cell phones, which are being donated to those in need. For UHMTV, I'm Ashley Middleton.
Meanwhile, college student volunteers are doing their part to Mālama the Aina.
As Donovan Turqueza tells us, the Hickam chapter of Silver Wings is hoping to teach youth leaders how to take care of their community as well as their environment.
Just steps away from UH Mānoa's lower campus, college volunteers are quietly cleaning up trash on the side of the road. Like Silent Wings, members from the Hickam chapter of Silver Wings are happy to do their part to Mālama the Aina.
Part of that community outreach is being able to identify with the community that we're serving.
Community service is just part of their mission to enhance professional and personal development as well as civic awareness. Silver Wings is a term used among military members to signify their service in the sky, which is why Hickam chapter has chosen their motto, E Kulia Ikanu'u, which means to strive for the highest. Yet recent media attention surrounding Hawaii's military often strains an already tense relationship with locals. The Silver Wings hopes to change that.
Historically, there has been a lot of conflict between the two, and we want to bridge that divide. You know, we want to be able to communicate well with those individuals rather than seeing them as like a separate entity.
The iconic Hawaiian flower, known as ohia lehua, is an important symbol for a chapter. ROTC cadets and civilian members use it as a reminder of Hawaii's delicate ecosystem.
One of the biggest issues that we want to raise awareness about was rapid ohia death, as well as that being our chapter flower for Hickam chapter. You know, we really want to educate the community on what is ohia death and what can the community do to prevent such spread.
You can also find the Silver Wings at various locations around Oahu, doing beach cleanups, visiting patriotic sites, and historic Hawaiian places. For more information, check out their Instagram page. For UHMTV, I'm Donovan Turqueza.
As many college graduates begin to step into the workforce, creative artists are also trying to find a footing in a competitive field.
As Margaret Cipriano tells us, a new collective is hoping to make huge waves in the digital media world.
Hawaii's film industry brought in more than $700 million last year alone, and that number is expected to grow even higher. For these young entrepreneurs, it's a chance to turn water into wine.
What makes Hawaii unique is there's a really tight network of artists that live on island, and there's a lot of job opportunities.
From party planning to graphic design, social media strategy, and film production, creatives can find a network through a new collective called Kinda Swell Studios.
We are the ones reaching out to clients and brands for you, and we meet with every creative who joins Kinda Swell and ask them what their personal goals are, how much they want to be making per shoot, their ideal brands.
Besides acting as headhunters, Kinda Swell encourages local artists to dream big and make a living doing it.
I moved here during COVID because everyone was working remote, and then we never left. I hope that we can kind of help everyone grow to whatever kind of artist they want to be.
Joining this collective doesn't cost a penny, but it will give all clients an opportunity to make sense into dollars.
Creatives who have to be crafty and like figure out how to do things for less money end up with a better project because you had to be creative every step of the way.
For college students, it's a good way to get their foot in the door while testing their creative skills.
Especially for people like students who are just entering, the real world of figuring out what they want to do.
So, if you're a local artist ready to make a splash, check out Kinda Swell Studios at the link below. For UHMTV, I'm Margaret Cipriano.
When we come back, an exclusive interview with a proud UH alum and professional TV journalist, Dylan Ancheta, on set right after this.
Welcome back to UHMTV. Although the UH football team had a rough season, many Warrior fans are still optimistic for better days ahead.
And as Charleston Cosmero reports, UH alumni are still turning out in force and throwing their support behind the home team.
It was a big score for the Warriors, grabbing their first win on home turf during homecoming. It was also the first victory for Timmy Chang as head coach. Playing before a sold-out crowd, the Brotherhood proved strong, backed by a huge alumni following. UH graduates also turned out in force at the annual Makers Market, hosted by UH alumni.
It's a Friday night and we're here in Kaka'ako at the Makers Market celebrating UH's homecoming. And we're surrounded by vendors that just so happen to be UH alumni.
The special event featured food, drinks, local products, and live performances from the UH Pep Squad, all in support of their alma mater. And many hail from the College of Social Sciences.
Learning how to run a business to actually owning one, and then giving back to UH and UH giving back to me. So the partnership is awesome, and just really appreciate that.
It's just the support that we've gotten from the university, and other alumni from across the world reach out to us, so it's great.
UH ranks among the top 500 universities in the country and is in the top 1% for social sciences, with students landing jobs immediately after graduation. With so many positive outcomes, it's easy to see why UH pride never dies. For UHMTV, I'm Charleston Casimero.
As a proud alum of the UH journalism program, Dylan Ancheta has become a well-known reporter on Hawaii News Now.
Recently, he came back to campus for a special talk story session with our own Hi'ilave Neves.
From a small town on Kauai to the big screen across the state, Dylan Ancheta's journey has only just begun. As a recent UH graduate, he's already made headlines covering local stories on TV and social media, including election coverage and the Merry Monarch Festival. He's also made his mark as the first digital reporter for Hawaii News Now.
Today, we are excited to talk story with a former UH student journalist turned Hawaii News Now reporter, Dylan Ancheta. It's good to see you back on campus, and welcome to UHMTV.
Aloha, thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor.
You graduated in 2016, and just a few years later, now you're here in studio as our featured alum. What are you feeling right now?
It's a rush of emotions, but the biggest emotion I feel is just overall gratefulness and being honored.
Could you just give us a little insight about where you grew up and what your childhood was like?
Yeah, well, it's a very slow town, kind of like Hilo, but everything closes at 7 o'clock. And that really helped shape my early years, kind of getting used to that, laid back lifestyle. But I always knew there was something bigger for me out there. And so I left Kauai in 2014 to come here to UH Mānoa, and I've been here ever since.
So why did you choose UH?
If you ask my mom, she'll say, Dylan was a weird kid because he always would say at 5 o'clock, Mom, we need to go home and watch the news. Like, what 7-year-old wants to watch the news every single day? And from there, it was like, I want to work for KGMB. And then, of course, the merger happened and it became Hawaii News Now. And so I figured, if I want to work here for the rest of my life, why not learn here? I kind of knew that UH was the place for me right off the bat, and it worked out.
Do you have any fond memories that you want to share with us from your time at UH?
The memories I have really centered around my amazing teachers who really help shape and encourage the early start of get in there, chase the story. It's an immediate reminder of if you learn in the community where you want to work, you have those opportunities.
I understand that your position at Hawaii News Now was actually created for you. So how did that come to be?
I've evolved, I've grown out of the original title that I was hired as. So the first ever digital reporter on paper for Hawaii News Now. They really let me figure out what that means for me in my eyes right now, is I contribute a little more to the television side while also still keep staying loyal to the digital side, our social media presence.
I understand that even outside of the studio, you have a completely different life. If you could elaborate a little bit on that.
What do you mean by that, girl? What kind of different life are you talking about? No, yeah, actually, so I am a drag performer. I hope that's what you're referring to. I am super blessed and grateful that I work in a place that not only accepts it, but celebrates it. We just wrapped up Honolulu Pride. I was in drag on the float, so that has been such a blessing.
It is Honolulu Pride 2022, baby. It is the return of the Pride Parade after 2 years away.
Was this ever something you felt like you needed to hide from your professional career?
I was worried that, this industry would not want to accept that or embrace that. And I was like, why am I hiding for? So yeah, Dylan and Malibu is her name. They go hand in hand. And I think seeing that type of representation is important. It lets people know we are allies, we are accepting, we're a loving community.
We have the graduating class of 2022, and then also a bunch of our student journalists about to just go into the workforce. Do you have any words of wisdom for them?
Most definitely. As long as you have the drive, have the passion, have an inquisitive mind, you're going to succeed. At the end of the day, just follow your passions.
I wish you so much luck in all your future endeavors, and thank you for joining me on UHMTV.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back to UHMTV. Mental health is an important part of balancing the stressors of college life.
That's why UH Mānoa offers several classes in mindful meditation and even research studies and the benefits of crystal energy. Mindful meditation is an actual course offered here at UH Mānoa to help students reduce stress, burnout, and even anxiety. Some find similar results through the use of crystals.
Basically, they all have different properties and you can use them in different ways. They all just kind of emit an energy that kind of works with your energy. Some people sleep with them. Everyone has their different rituals and practices that they use them for, but basically if you just hang around them, they'll work for you.
I don't know how much of it I should leave up to the crystal, but since I started wearing it, I've lost 30 pounds. I made actual good friends here, people I hang out with all the time and I trust.
It is often said that whatever you need is calling out to you, so people are encouraged to take their time when choosing the right stone. UH researchers are currently studying the genealogy of various crystals and recognize the scientific foundation of these rocks.
I don't have a way to test how a piece of crystal like this would affect your health, but I have a way to measure how this crystal stores or transfers energy. So I believe that there is some relationship between crystals and energy for sure.
The energy of a crystal emanates from its structure. The fact that it has a vibrational energy is undeniable. But whether that affects the human body is still up for debate.
Crystals are composed of individual little building blocks. So every crystal will have different atoms sitting in this building block. And that basically determines how this crystal behaves, how it reacts, how it compresses, how it expands, probably how it might influence, human health as well.
So if you're looking to release stress and anxiety, or just find some peace of mind, consider crystal healing.
You don't have to believe in them, but they'll definitely do good for you, I feel, having them around.
For UHMTV, I am Mackenzie, Olivo. Sound baths are another form of healing practice used around the world.
As Elise Hastings reports, the sound of singing bowls can be more than just music to your ears.
Energy flows where attention goes is often said by those who specialize in spiritual practices.
I feel like the pandemic, it really put a spotlight on the inequities in our life on a larger scale and also on a small scale. And I feel like it really created a space for people to explore their wellness and their practice in their solitude, which is where I believe spiritual practice is born. And so as a community, it's been really beautiful to have families come in and heal together, and strangers come in and heal together.
According to the Human Condition Medical Journal, sound baths are an ancient Tibetan practice that bring the mind, body, and spirit into balance.
During the pandemic, my mental health wasn't doing very well, but incorporating little self-care activities, including the sound bath, has been very beneficial to my own well-being and spiritual journey. Just very healing.
For UHMTV, I'm Elise Hastings.
Well, this wraps up the 30th edition of UHMTV. Mahalo for watching. I'm Kaiya Laguardia-Yonamine.
And I'm Mackenzie Olivo. For more information, please visit our UHMTV YouTube channel. Until next time, malama pono and aloha!